This is one method of having a spiritual conversation with someone after the icebreaker, somewhere after you get to the point of, what do you think's out there, kind of a thing. And people are like, they're engaged, they're willing to talk to you. If someone doesn't want to talk to you, walk away. We don't want to corner anybody. People are going to feel a little bit uncomfortable because of the subject matter, but we don't want them to feel uncomfortable based on the way we approach them or talk with them. So we've got a whole training on body language. It's called Body Language, Enhancing the Message, or Enhancing Your Message. And it's audio, which is ironic. It's all about movements and gestures, but it's on audio. But you get it on our website. And but like, if I'm talking to someone, I'll back up a little bit. You kind of get the basic understanding of how eye movement, facial gestures, and hand movement will affect the message and how people receive it. So we don't want to get in people's faces. So right now we're looking at spiritual questions. So we've gotten to the point of helping someone see over the precipice of eternity, and we're in the spiritual realm now. And so where do we go from there? Well, one way is by asking, do you have any spiritual beliefs? So it's a very open-ended question. People are not offended by that question. And so once they get a chance to talk for a while, whatever they say, you're listening. That's interesting, and being sincere. That's interesting. And then, so to you, who is Jesus Christ? And so, at listening again, they can say anything. They say, "Oh, I think he's from Mars," or "I think he's a good person," "I think he's a good teacher," and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." So, do you believe in the existence of heaven and hell? And again, just listening, not responding, but listening. And if you were to die, where do you believe you'd go? And we're not asking if you were to die tonight. Just kind of hypothetically, say you're to die. Like 10 out of 10 people tend to do. Recent research indicates that 10 out of 10 people will die. So it's kind of funny, lighthearted. But so, if it were to happen to you, where do you believe you'd go? Heaven or hell? And then why? And then these questions I found in Bill Fay's book, Share Jesus Without Fear. We've modified them slightly. And the last question that he'll ask, and I do use this occasionally, but it's, if what you're believing were not true, would you want to know? And that's basically a very nice way of saying, what if you're wrong? And so it's non-evasive and helping people evaluate, wow, and it's not saying, what if you're wrong, but what if what you're believing were not true? So, would you want to know? How can you say no? One person said no to me, but for the most part, we're like, yeah, I'd want to know. Of course. And so, the question that I ask, though, is, would you like to be sure you're at peace with God? And the reason that we started using that is that we're doing this in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish, so I didn't know if they're giving me a right answer or not. So a pretty safe bet was, would you like to be sure you're at peace with God? And we found that in the English this works well, because some people give the right answer, say, where do you believe you go? Heaven. Why? Because Jesus Christ died, and he's paid the penalty that I deserve, and I'm going to heaven. And so someone can give that answer, will say, would you like to be sure you're at peace with God? And they're like, yeah, I would. So it's like they know the right answer, they understand the information, but there's still a kind of a uncertainty. It doesn't mean they're not saved, but there's this uncertainty. So we're actually able to minister to people that we might otherwise kind of just be like, okay, thanks, bye. That's what we're out here talking about. And but it's a real ministry to Christians too, as we meet Christians on the street. And so then, would you like to be sure you're at peace with God? And then from there, we go on to an explanation of the gospel. If they want to be sure they're at peace with God, then there's a humbleness there. 1 Peter 5, verse 5 says, God opposes the proud, gives grace to the humble. And so throughout whatever we're talking about, we're looking at, okay, is there humbleness or is there pride? If there's pride, then we need to apply some more of the law, the Ten Commandments. If there's humbleness, we go to Jesus. There's no need to go into the law any further.